I just watched a show named No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless, and it honestly unlocked something in me. Let's talk about it. Alright, yo, what's up, y'all? Hope y'all are doing good. This is definitely not my second time recording this video. Definitely not. Now, let's address it now before we really get into it. I know how I look. My hair out, beanie. I look like a stoner skater kid, okay? But I'm recording this on another Halloween. Just bear with me. I'm kind of tired, okay? So, this is the only time I'm going to get time to record for the video to be out this week, okay? So you're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. But we're back with another romance anime review. Today, talking about a show named No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. Something that was on my radar a little bit because I heard a little bit of things about it. Didn't know too much about it, didn't know anything about it really going into it. Honestly, didn't expect to really care for it a whole lot. But honestly, it kind of unlocked something in me while watching it. And we'll talk about that more a little bit later. If you heard what I said earlier, talking about this the only time I'm going to get time to record this video so it could be out this week, we are still doing one full video a week. And I guess it's going to be on Saturdays because the last couple videos I come out on Saturdays. I guess that's the best time where I can record and edit and get everything done with. So I guess Saturdays look forward to, but I don't want to put, all my cards on the table for Saturday. So just know once per week. Okay. And then the shorts are going to come out sometimes, I'll have a little bit more ideas for shorts. So there'll probably be a little bit more out there, but just know one video per week. I can promise you that. And now let's really get into this review. So this show, it's called No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. Yes, anime titles are very, very weird, And this review is probably going to be a lot shorter and a little bit different from the other reviews I usually do. I've done different styles of reviews depending on the show, depending on what I think would be more entertaining and what I think would make for a better video. And for this one, because usually for romance animes, most of the time I just go, here's a certain couple. We go, these are all the moments they have together, and then we talk about more of the themes and the side characters and stuff later. For this show, we're not really going to be talking about specific moments. I'm not going to be doing a review in terms of a recap. Like going through every episode and say, all right, here's what happens here, here's what happens here, here's what happens here. I'm going to talk about a little bit in this video, but I'm not going to go a full recap, I'm just going to more talk about the certain themes and the certain big points I want to get to. Kind of like bullet points that I have in my notes. That's really what I'm more talking about. So it's more going to be a review more than a recap and a review. All right. So one key important thing you have to know about this show. This is an all-girls show. Yes, we're getting some Yuri in here, all right? And I didn't know that coming into this show. I didn't know that. I heard about it, whatever, but watching the first episode, I realized, oh, this is going to be an all-girls show, Yuri show, which I've never watched before. Not for any reason particularly, it just never happened, I don't know. And the title of this video, when I say it unlocks something in me, is because I didn't know how I was going to feel watching an all-girls show. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be the same as other romance. I don't know. But to be completely honest, when I watched the show, I kind of liked it a lot more for some reason. Liked it more in the sense of the idea of all-girl kind of romance relationships. It was very, very interesting. I was watching it and I was like, dang, I actually really like this idea. I guess I'm going to be watching more Yuri show now. If you have any other recommendations for Yuri shows that are romance, let me know that in the comment section below, because I honestly want to go check them out now, because it was very entertaining to me. One of the big things about this show that I kind of liked is that you still found the sweet and wholesomeness of it, even though they have really real dramatic and also steamier themes, I'm going to be completely honest here, because that's what we are. We're honest here, all right? One of the things really keeping me locked in to the show was some of the scenes with, the girls being closer than friends. Let's just say that. All right. There are a couple scenes in some episodes. You see some kissing, you see some touching, you see something. It's not etchy or anything like that. It's not, nothing ever goes too over the line, but there's some scenes and some moments that, happen throughout the show. And I would be a liar if I said that didn't interest me and lock me more into liking this show. Okay, we're just being honest here. Why can't we could just be honest, But also, there was a certain sweetness and wholesomeness to it that, while there was those scenes going on, there was still the sweet and wholesomeness aspect surrounding it that also made me a lot more like happy and interested in this show, because I was like, dang, all this stuff is going on, yet there's still like a sweetness and a wholesomeness and like a cuteness to it that I really, really enjoy. And it's also really real. Like, looking back on the show and looking back at some of the moments, this show is super real and relatable, you know, in certain way with certain characters and the certain things they have to deal with. I think are really relatable to a lot of people, which I also think makes this show pretty interesting. But yeah, the sweet and wholesomeness of it, while still having these certain scenes, is a very interesting way to go about it, and I honestly enjoyed it. One of the big things it talks about in this show is overthinking, you know, and not feeling good enough. Specifically, you see the main character, Rena. She's someone that used to be, you know, throughout middle school and all that stuff, she was an introvert, homebody, likes gaming and all that stuff. When she got to high school, she wanted to change herself. She wanted to have more friends, you know, be more extroverted. And she tried, and she found a friend group that was extroverted. But throughout this entire time, and throughout this entire show, a big part of her character is overthinking and not feeling good enough while around the other girls, where she thinks the other girls are like goddesses and princesses while she's just this regular person that's dragging everyone down, and she overthinks a lot of things. And the first episode, the thing she was saying, I was like, dang, I relate to this a little bit too much. Being someone that is introverted and someone that, you know, overthinks, which I think a lot of people are, probably, you know, that's a thing that so many people deal with, you know. But I think in this show they tackle it, you know, even now we just heard with other characters too, where you look in the inside and it's like, dang, they're all overthinking. They all feel they're not good enough compared to these other girls and all this stuff. And it just, I felt like them all having it was just super like, man, like I can really relate to these characters, and I am a lot more interested in the things they have to say and the way they deal with it now, because I think they deal with it in a pretty good way, where they all kind of eventually tell everybody about it, and then they all kind of realize at the end, like, oh shoot, I'm not overthinking, like she does it too, and she does it too, and we're not all perfect. And I think that was a really great thing about this show, and that's something that instantly caught my eye. It got my attention from episode 1. I was like, oh shoot, this character is way too relatable to me, because they overthink and they don't feel good enough or whatever sometimes. Like, dang, okay, I'm locked into this show a little bit. A big part of this show as well is friendship, finding your friend group. Again, the main character didn't have really many friends because she was a lot to herself. And she found this friend group that was very extroverted. They had, you know, people that, you know, not afraid to say what's on their mind, models and all this stuff. And eventually she ends up finding her group, and the group bond grows stronger and stronger as times go on, because they all deal with things together, you know, go through so many things together. And now this group is like kind of really structured now, where it's just not just 5 random people hanging out. Now it's a real group, and they all care about each other, you know, and finding where you fit into the group, I guess, and finding your place, you know, because a lot of people, you know, not many people can just go out and make friends with anybody. You know, that's very tough to do. But I think there's something really special about finding a certain group of people that you really fit into, and all of you just being able to connect with each other. I think there's something really, really special about it, because if you have your own little group, you know, it just makes things so much better, to me at least. Another bullet point I have here is nobody's perfect. Again, the first episode, this main character, Rena, she's talking about how all these girls are perfect and how she thinks, you know, friends are just perfect and I gotta be better. But then we peel back the layers and it's like, no, they're not perfect. This person, you know, they overthink more. They can't express their feelings well. They think they're not good enough, or they think this, and this. And it just goes to show nobody's perfect, which I'm a big believer, like, no human is perfect. We all have our flaws. We all have bad things about each other. And that's what makes us people. You know, so I really loved, because from episode 1, she says this, and I'm like, okay, so they're going to tackle that, and they're going to, you know, make us see that they're not all perfect. And that only just makes them more relatable and more human, you know, where there's sometimes you see in shows where they have these characters that just can do nothing wrong, you know, even if when they do something wrong, it's not really wrong, you know. But for this show, it's like super different, you know, like this main character got to go out and see, okay, we're all not perfect. We all have our flaws. We all have things we're not good at. And that's just really refreshing to me, I guess, while watching this show. Going more into the certain relationships and what each relationship kind of shows us a little bit. First one, we have Rena and Mai. That's the main character. And Mai, who's this very popular girl, you know, she's a famous model. Everybody knows her. She's beautiful. She's the perfect goddess, Mai. Oh my God. You know, and eventually they end up kind of being in a weird relationship that's very different. Mai ends up falling for Rena romantically, while Rena is more like, no, I just want to be a friend to you. And so they kind of go back and forth on friendship and relationship with, you know, certain days will be friends, certain days will be, you know, dating and all that stuff. And it's a very good and interesting kind of relationship, because it's a lot about learning about love in the context to different friendship and relationship, and kind of like the differences, but also the big similarities that they both have with each other. And they both have different moments where they kind of learn, like, oh, okay, this is why it's good to be friends, or this is why it's good to be together in a relationship. And their relationship is very, is it my favorite? It could be. I think it is. If I had to rank every relationship, this will probably be number one. Not because it's only the first one, but I've just really liked them together in terms of Mai kind of tries to play perfect, and tries to be like the main one, but also is not afraid, I guess, to say her real feelings to Rena. While Rena is more of like, hard-headed a little bit. She's more like, I don't care. I'll say whatever I want to say, reckless a little bit. And I don't know, there's just something about their dynamic that I really, really enjoy. And they just look really good together for me. But yeah, it's a lot about learning about love and learning about relationships in terms of friends and more than friends. And I think theirs is very, very interesting to me. And it's a really good one as well. Like, you could tell there's a lot of like, realness in that relationship. Like they're both very honest with each other, and I really like that. So that's probably my favorite one. We also have Rena and Sataka. Sataka? I don't know. I sound so white man saying these names, man. I'm sorry. Rena and Sataka. Sataka is another one that's a part of this group. Her and Mai are very, we're going to talk about their relationship later. But their relationship is very odd and kind of unique in a way, because it starts kind of as more like we're trying to get back at Mai, but then they also realize how much they kind of need each other a little bit. Like Sataka is more of like, cold, doesn't really explain her feelings a lot, is really like honest and just brute honest, whatever. And it's interesting because at first I was like, okay, how's this gonna go? But then more and more seeing it, I'm like, this it's an odd relationship, very unique for sure. Because Rena becomes more, because in the first relationship, Mai was more of the aggressive one making things happen. And this one was more Rena taking on that role. When you would think it'd be Sataka because of her personality, but Rena's the one that kind of flips on, and she's the one that takes control of everything. And I think this relationship is a lot about being honest with yourself and others, because, Sataka is someone that, can be bold and can be whatever, but also isn't honest a lot of times, I feel like, especially with Mai. And being honest with other people and knowing who you are and not being afraid to say what's on your mind, I feel like that is what this relationship kind of teaches us a little bit more, because you see both of them grow in that aspect towards each other. Another relationship in this one is Rena and Ajisai, another girl that's a part of this fan group. She's super, sweet and wholesome and cute and all that. And Rena, at first, I didn't know how I felt about it, because their relationship was very like Rena kind of being weird a little bit, thinking like, kind of idolizing Ajisai, like, oh my god, this is a goddess, she's perfect, she can do nothing wrong, no way, how can I be friends with her or whatever. But then the last couple episodes focus more on this relationship, and we see as time goes on, Ajisai deals with a lot of problems too inside. She has so much on her plate. She wants to be like this, but she ends up being like this, and just going through a lot of things in her head. And eventually we get to see like some more of the realer parts of Ajisai's mind, and I think they handled it really, really well with Rena, and Ajisai kind of learning how to be friends with each other while also learning how to rely on each other. And that relationship honestly really, really grew on me, because at first I was like, okay, they're cool, but I like them better as friends, whatever. Then as time went on, I was like, oh wait, you know what? They actually feel like kind of like dang near a perfect fit for each other as time went on. And I was like, at the end, honestly, it's between Ajisai and Mai, of like, which relationship do I like more? I'm probably go with Mai, but then again, Ajisai is like, dang, I feel like their personalities fit so much more closer to each other, because they're not afraid, because eventually they learn to not be afraid to rely on each other, and one of the bullet points I had for this relationship is like talking out your feelings. You never know what someone's going through, and just be able to talk to somebody. And that's what this relationship has a lot of, where Ajisai eventually opens up and is like, hey, like, they have so much on my plate, and this is what I'm feeling. And then Rena kind of being like, oh, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I think you should feel about this. And they just are okay with being honest with each other and being able to rely on each other and being able to, talk things out. And that's why I think this relationship really grew on me, because I was like, dang, they feel like a really good fit for each other. Final thing we're gonna talk about is Mai and Sataka. They don't get into any romance relationship. They know their childhood friends. They know each other since they were little, but they have a little spat during this time. To be honest, I don't remember fully 100% what this spat is about. Kind of, it honestly kind of a little bit pointless to me. Like, this is the point where I kind of, not saying this is probably the most boring part to me personally. If I'm being completely honest, they're interesting, but a very sweet relationship because again, Satsuka is someone that, keeps a lot of her feelings hidden a little bit. Like, she'll say one thing, but she actually means something else. But she wants to come off as kind of like, the cold, brooding one. You don't know what's mysterious girl. You don't know what's going on in her head, while Mai tries to kind of be perfect, even though she knows she's not perfect. So those two kind of clash and bump heads a lot of time. And eventually we learn that they just really care for each other, but they just can't really say it out loud, So their relationship is kind of very interesting. And I feel like it's really relatable. I feel like this is like a relationship that goes on a lot in different friend groups, where two people that have kind of different personalities, but are also the same in certain ways, and they bump heads, but they actually really care about each other. I feel like that's really relatable to a lot of different friend groups. So their relationship, honestly, kind of the most, again, that saga, that 2 or 3 episodes was kind of the most part where I kind of didn't care as much, but it was still something that was kind of needed in a way. At the end of the day, again, I was a lot more interested in the show than what I expected to be. I thought it was just gonna be a fun little whatever, and then we move on. I didn't know what I was gonna make a video about with this show. But then as soon as episode 1 came in, it kind of locked me in. Again, I think it's really, really relatable. I think it hits on so many different topics that a lot of people can, feel. Especially there's a lot of times during the show where I was like, dang, I've been in that situation. Or, dang, I feel like that. Dang, this person's in my head. Like, what? I think that all the time. So yeah, like, all I have to say is more Yuri, please. More Yuri. Again, if you have recommendations for other Yuri shows, let me know down in the comment section below. Romance ones. You don't have to. Don't send me hentai, okay? But if you have other romance anime or Yuri shows, I would love to see it because again, this really unlocked something. I was like, dang, I kind of want to get more interested in Yuri. Like, this is so cool. I guess maybe not Yuri, but more girl relationship. I guess Yuri, I think, is something different. I don't know these things. I'm sorry, but more girl romances, I think, are needed. And if there is not a lot, please make more, because I really enjoyed this a lot more than I thought, man. This was honestly pretty good. My rating of it overall, I give it one solid thumbs up. It wasn't perfect. Again, there's some times where I kind of was like, okay, I don't really care as much, but I still went through 12 episodes happy about it. So I'll give it one good thumbs up. That's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, 1 video per week is what we're striving for here on the channel. And yeah, the shorts probably gonna be coming out a little bit more because I'm running out a little bit of romance from last season, and I'm not gonna do the romance from this current season until I watch the full episodes, until they all fully come out, so I can do a full review on them. So we're gonna have to wait a little while with that. But I'm also thinking about maybe going back and doing some other shows from the season before that I liked and all that stuff. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna use my community post tab a lot more because I've only used it like once, and I feel like I want to use it a little bit more to talk about different things instead of having a yap in this video about it for 20 minutes for no reason. But yeah, that's it. If you do like the video, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment down low, either about the show or honestly whatever, it helps out the algorithm. So leave a comment. And hit the subscribe button. If you do like the content, hit subscribe. You like romance anime, you like hearing me yab about this type of stuff, hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate it a whole lot. Go check out my main channel, Everyday Hoops. It's literally the exact opposite of what we do around here. We talk about basketball over there. The season's going on. If you like basketball, somebody that does like basketball, let them know about the channel. Download the description below. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.